Hey guys, you're watching Geekcaster. I'm Michael Seven Mike, and today we've got in the studio the one and the only.
Hi guys, I'm Bevan.
So we just saw this wonderful movie.
We're calling it So-So, a Star Wars story.
Did you like it?
What I've been telling people is it is a harmless, unnecessary Star Wars film. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to really offend you unless you're a diehard Harrison Ford person. Like, I can't have anybody in this role but Harrison Ford. Just kind of me. But I'm fair to movies. I go in with an open mind. And to me, it was harmless. It existed. It's not going to be memorable. I've already forgotten half the plot because it's not memorable. But besides that, yeah. What'd you think?
Let's start from the beginning.
Shall we?
It wasn't Han Solo. It wasn't Lando. It just wasn't the characters that we've known. And obviously the actors aren't going to play those characters because they're a lot older now. But they didn't stay true to the character. So I think that was the biggest problem with the film.
The movie never justified the existence of it, basically, to me. Like, I didn't go in there learning anything new about these characters. I thought it took away from what the characters' growth in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to blame the actors because I actually think those actors are really talented. I actually think they deserve their own Star Wars characters to create. I think there's a lot of expectations of Solo, and some people went out there. I mean, I find it funny. If you hated The Last Jedi, you seem to like this movie because one of my friends said, "Oh, it's throwing me a bone because I hated The Last Jedi," so they try to give me something very safe. It's a very safe movie. They don't take a lot of risks. They try and bring just enough nostalgia to it to make you go, hey, remember Star Wars? Star Wars is fun. And there are moments that feel fun. But my biggest problem with this movie is the script. The script of it is very bland, very cliche, very unnecessary. There's a lot of telling and then showing. Like, throw him in there with the Beast. Who's the Beast? Oh, it's by the way, it's spoilers. We're going to talk spoilers,
right,
correct? Just have to say that. If you haven't seen Solo, a Star Wars movie, you probably have already made up your mind whether you're going to like it or not. Because most Star Wars fans are very divided when it comes to Star Wars films in general. There are people that love The Last Jedi. There are people that hated The Last Jedi. There are people that are going to love this movie, and there are people that are going to hate this movie. Okay, Star Wars fans, we can disagree and still get along. There's no need to fight with each other. I feel like I have to say that so nobody attacks us. Like, if you like the movie, good for you. I am not bashing it. It's not a terrible movie. It is a passable movie, and to me, I expect more from Star Wars, especially if you're going to take such an iconic character and justify making a potential trilogy out of this. And I'm like, what? Anyway. Onward. What was your question?
You sound like Auntie in the playground. All right, guys, it's okay. It happened. Everyone's gonna be all right.
Yeah, well, I feel like I have to because there's so many people on my feed that are like, they're going, "Don't listen to the haters. Star Wars Solo was good." And then there are people on my feed going, "Well, if you like this movie, then you're an idiot." Guys, it's okay to disagree. You don't have to like everything.
Right.
Oh my God, we can have discussions about this and it not be, oh, you're not a real Star Wars fan because you liked or hated this. It's okay, guys. It's okay.
And I have to say again, Ron Howard stepping into these shoes. Would say not even halfway into it. Like, the movie was almost done when he stepped into it, and they had to reshoot 70% of it. Correct?
Right. Yes. So So in terms of the box office right now, in terms of how Solo is faring, it got 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 60% audience like as of this morning. And some of that is because if you click on the actual audience reactions, some people are just giving it a 4-star rating just to troll everyone. Like, I haven't seen it yet, but I love Star Wars, so I'm going to give it a rating to balance out the hate. Guys, now, that's not fair. Let's all be honest. Let's be fair and honest. And then it has a cinema score of A-, but in terms of Memorial Day weekend, happy Memorial Day, everybody, it has done poorly. It did 103 million domestically. It did 65 million overseas, which is bad for a Star Wars. And some people are blaming it being Memorial Day weekend. Some people are blaming it on Star Wars fatigue, or The Last Jedi hate, or boycotting Kathleen Kennedy. Some people are blaming it on, well, you know, it came out during the wrong time because Deadpool 2 just came out. And Infinity War is still going strong in the box office. So there's two just better movies all around that if you are going to go see a movie on Memorial Day weekend, unless you were sitting there going, man, I can't wait to see this kid play this iconic character that I've grown up with, you probably are going, man, maybe I'll go see Deadpool 2. Like, honestly, I'll be honest. If I didn't have to talk about this movie and I had to go see a movie Memorial Day weekend, I would have chosen to see Infinity War or Deadpool 2 again over going to see this. Nothing ever grabbed me about this movie. Not the trailers, not the casting, not the concept. So I will admit that I am biased in the fact that I never wanted this movie. I never asked for this movie. And I got this movie. And I think I'm still trying to be fair to it because there are elements of it that are not terrible.
And you just mentioned something really interesting about the feed.
Yeah.
You know that they just greenlit live action version of
Boba Fett.
Now that's a movie. That's a movie that I'm looking forward to. I don't think people really were interested in a solo film.
No, I mean, again, it's really hard to make a movie based on a character that's so iconic. You know, it's kind of like even when because you know it's going to happen.
Right.
Even when they recast Indiana Jones and make other Indiana Jones films, it's going to be very hard because you are so used to Harrison Ford's interpretation of the character. And a lot of people are not aware, unless you're Star Wars fans, so you probably knew this anyway.
Right.
Harrison Ford developed the character of Han Solo. I mean, that was his first acting role where he got to have a hands-on creation of the character in terms of how the character behaved, how the character acted. I mean, he and George Lucas worked very closely. He actually got cast because he was reading for other actors for George Lucas, and George Lucas was like, I really like how you're reading this. And he's like, well, I'm just doing it the way I think this character would behave. So he's got a huge staple on it. And I think he had enough of a journey, even though I still hate that they killed him in Force Awakens, fine, whatever. He had enough of a journey where I didn't really need a backstory of him. And the backstory I got, I felt was lazy script writing. You know? I mean, we can go through this plot if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, because he was such a bandit, he was so quote-unquote solo.
Yeah.
And then he has this turning point. I mean, that's the whole part of the hero's journey. And that when a character starts to turn and change, and he didn't change until the end of A New Hope, where he came back to help and save the day. And then he went back to his old ways, kind of, sort of, and then it's like, boom, no, he's in it. He's a part of the rebellion. He wants to help, you know, he wants to make a difference in the universe, blah, 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 blah. If he's a good guy in this movie, you kind of negate the power of his change.
Yeah, for a movie titled Solo, there was very little soloing he was doing. I mean, he started off in love, bright-eyed, which is fine, but I really want to, if he's going to turn bitter and cold, I want to see that transition of him being bitter and cold. And some people will argue that does happen at the end of the movie, but it's like, not really. It's not very strong.
Not the way he played it.
No, and he's always on a team. Like, there is never a moment where he's like, I have to go rogue to survive. And I think you could have put that, and again, I'm going to blame the script on that.
Right.
You know, the storyline is like, it opens up, and it's very Oliver Twist / Annie. It's a hard not life for them, and they're just trying to break free and all that stuff. And he's got his lady love, and he's like, I'm gonna be a pilot. I'm gonna grow up and be a pilot, and I'm gonna take with me my lady love, mother of brunette hair that we got going on. Daenerys Stormborn being Kira, her name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, my girl. I'm gonna break free. I'm gonna fight against the system. He gets out. He gets taken for some reason. She's the one that gets caught, and he doesn't. And then probably the most frustrating thing to me happens right after that, because it's the most uncharacteristic thing that I would ever buy in the script, which is, he was like, well, I guess in order to get out of here, I got to sign up with the Empire to become a pilot. And if you are following your Star Wars lore, once you sign up with the Empire, you get a number or a code. You don't get a name.
Correct.
Especially if you're going with this new Star Wars lore, F127, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Not, you know, those guys.
Yeah, and they really went in there with Finn to really break that down and explain that. So to go through all that and then you destroy that earlier on. Actually, it's interesting because during that time, again, we're dealing with Star Wars universe, Star Wars time. Wouldn't still some of the troopers be clones at that point?
No, all of them would be clones still, because it's A New Hope. It's 10 years before A New Hope, so all of them would still be clones. So they're all supposed to have... Now, but they are doing recruits. I mean, you are seeing in this world that the Empire is recruiting, in order to maintain its domain, it's recruiting new people. Which is, you know, fine. I buy that. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the fact that the script writers, who's written by, I'm going to name out real quick, the guy that wrote Empire, which really disappoints me. Jonathan Kasdan and his son, Lord Kasdan, wrote this script. And I would never guess it, because of how safe this script is. I would never guess that they wrote, the people that wrote arguably the most iconic Star Wars story that took risks and had bold choices and big reveals. I would never guess they wrote this script. But they just sat there and decided, you know how Han Solo's going to get his last name? And how it's going to be delivered to. It's not even like that the Empire gave him his last name. It's the delivery. It's like, all right, what's your first name? And then all of a sudden I'm in the Super Mario movies. Like, what's your first name? Mario. What's your last name? Mario. What? Like, it's a dumb moment like that. Where he's like, all right, what's your name? My name is Han. All right, what's your last name? I don't have I have no one. All right, well then Han.
Yeah, he said, who's your people?
Yeah, who's your people? I don't have people. And he goes, and he like, the way it's even delivered to is terrible. It's like, all right, well then Han, think about it, pause, turn, Solo. And I'm like, no. I think this is the one complaint that everyone, regardless if they love this movie or hate this movie, were like, that doesn't make any sense in the Star Wars lore. Why would Han Solo keep his name if the Empire gave it to him in the...
That is...
Why? Why would he... It doesn't even sound characteristic of Han. I always thought that he gave himself that name because it stood for what he was. He was a guy that had a solo lifestyle. He looked out for him. He was the most important person. His ship was the most important thing. His property was the most important thing. He was flying solo, solo. You're welcome. You're welcome, Internet. Now you're gonna...
I gotta play that thing.
You gotta. Oh my God. That exudes more guttural reactions from people than the movie Solo. That song, Han Solo.
But I do have to give a shout out to Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson as Beckett. Okay,
he did a really good job. He plays a really good shady character.
He always plays really good shady.
Yeah.
Again, it's a safe casting choice and safe plot device. Oh, Woody Harrelson, he's probably shady.
Right. Tandy Newton.
Yes. So okay, so let's
great.
get to that. So he gets so.
But that didn't make sense, though.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that because I think the heist, the characters in the heist, were the ones that, like, I was very confused about in terms of the relevance. And again, this is a script thing. This is not the actors. The actors are all great from what they're given. So he gets out of Oliver Twistland and he joins the Empire, and then he's in a World War I like mud battlefield, which is an Easter egg. But like it's like stormtroopers in World War I.
I mean, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and there he's just surviving, and he meets Beckett and Val, Fanny Newton's character, and he discovers that they're doing a job, and he's like, "Oh, I want to be in on this job. I got to get out of here." And they're like, "No way, man! We're going to turn you over to the guards." And they're like, "Oh, throw him in the cage with the Beast." And you're like, "The Beast? I wonder who the Beast is." It's like there's a lot of like setting up. Oh, I know a guy. Who's the guy? I have a ship. Who's the ship?
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, like there's a lot of moments where once the character says something, oh, don't trust anybody because they'll betray you. Well, I wonder if he's going to betray him. Like there's a lot of that in the script drove me crazy.
Hey, wait a minute. I know a guy that's got a ship.
Who's got a ship? Oh my God, who's the guy with the ship? Oh, I know a guy on Tatooine. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I know a guy on Tatooine.
I know a guy on Tatooine.
Well, that was the only one that I thought was okay. But they only should have said it once.
Yeah, no, yeah, they said it twice.
Right.
It's like, okay, stop. All right, so here's where moments work and don't work for me when he meets Chewbacca. So he gets thrown in this cage, and it's kind of reminiscent a little bit to me of the Return of the Jedi when Luke gets thrown into the cage and then the monster comes out. It's Chewbacca. And so here's the thing in the script that doesn't make any sense, and I know a way for it to make sense and it'd be funny, and I think it would have landed a lot better. It's when, in order for Han to get Chewbacca on his side, he starts speaking Wookiee, which when that happened, the audience started laughing. That's probably the only time that my audience laughed, because it just sounded stupid and it came out of nowhere. And I think it would have worked if he had kept up with the Wookiee, and then Chewbacca says in Wookiee, you don't have to keep doing that. I can understand English. And he'd be like, what? God dang it.
Right.
I've been trying to speak Wookiee to you and you can understand me the entire time. I'm not trying this ever again. Because the thing is, if Han could speak Wookiee, then why wasn't he ever speaking Wookiee? Like, it's the only time he ever speaks it, and then he never speaks it again.
Right.
Never. Not even in this movie. They never justify the choice of him speaking it and then stopping to speak it.
Right.
That, to me, it's like it could have been a funny moment where he starts speaking it, he's struggling to speak it, and Chewbacca kind of messes with him and says, you can stop, I understand.
Right.
He'd be like, man, yeah, I like you. You just messed with me. That's great. I like it. Let's be friends. Like, that could have been a cute bonding moment.
Definitely. Yeah, they never showed him ever speaking Wookiee before. Not even a hint of it, so yeah, that was weird. You know what? They should have hired you.
I know, right?
To
I think it could have been a really funny introduction moment. I thought it was going to be a joke of like they would have to justify why he starts it and then stops it and never does it again.
Right.
And I felt like they didn't do that. They're just like, it'd be fun if Han Solo spoke Wookiee. And I'd be like, yeah, but then you got to justify why he never speaks it again, and then I'll be on board with this choice. I mean, I think the parts that work the best in this movie is the interaction between Han and Chewie. There's just not enough of it to justify why Chewie would even stick around Han. Like besides the fact, I thought there was going to be a life debt that was talked about. Like, you got me out of that cage, I'll stick by you, but that was never discussed. Again, It's a plot thing. So anyways, so there's funny moments where Chewbacca and Han bond and they kind of get out. And they run to see Beckett and Val and what is the droid by Jon Favreau? Rio Durant. Sorry, not the droid, the alien. Rio Durant, played by Jon Favreau. They're like, he's got a Wookiee. Let's take him along. It'll be fun. Okay. And here we're introduced to two characters where this is the first time where I'm going to have the feeling of pointless death. Like, they're there, they're going to do this job, and don't get attached to them because the only one that's making out of that is Beckett. And my problem with Val dying is that it seemed like an unnecessary death. Why the hell is she sacrificing her life for this one job? Can you answer that for me?
Right, that made no sense.
I didn't understand her sacrificing herself for the greater good. Just, it's been a good ride. I'm going to blow myself up now.
Right. When she has that little rope thing, that she used to get up there, why didn't she just go down? Like, it made no sense.
Her sacrificing...
And she's a bandit.
But also, too, I have not spent enough time with these bandits to feel anything for their death.
Right.
When they both die, I'm like, all right, well, I guess they're dead. I guess Val had to get back to Westworld. Restricted. It felt like, well, we got to get rid of her quickly because she doesn't have a lot of free time to shoot this with us. Right. That's what it felt like to me. That's why she died. And that's not...
Was she in the original before? I wonder if they just threw that in there.
What?
Her character.
I have no idea.
And that would be interesting to know. But also because of Woody Harrelson's character saying that don't trust anyone, his attitude, you would figure his, because they had a relationship in the film, that she would kind of have that same kind of attitude, even though they took care of each other. So I don't see her, even just based on the way he was acting, psychology-wise, I can't see his other half just wanting to kill herself. Makes no sense.
Yeah, she seemed like she would be all for surviving, regardless, because this was just a job.
Right.
So why, you're not,
Now,
and then he gets over them dying very quickly, too.
He really did. What do you think of L337? That character.
Okay.
The comic relief. They always have a droid comic relief, you notice.
So I think we talked about this with Jamie last week in terms of the whole Lando pansexuality thing. If I had not read that Lando was pansexual, I never would have guessed that he was just by what I was shown in the theater with L3, because it just seemed to me like droids are kind of like a human's pet in a way.
Companion, right, yeah.
Companion. BB-8 is, what's his face's companion from The Force Awakens? I can't remember his name. Poe. Poe.
Yeah.
Poe is Poe's companion. R2-D2 is Luke Skywalker's companion. The droid from Rogue One is, I forget that droid's name. He was that guy's companion in Rogue One. Droids
but they're still droids.
And they're still droids.
Right.
L3's social justice roaring thing felt a little forced. I mean, people were laughing at her in the theater, and I'm not sure. It didn't feel like it was genuine, this is a lovable character. I like her. Again, it's one of those pointless deaths of, I didn't have enough time to get attached to her. Right. I more felt that she was a little much for me. I didn't mind the choice. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do the choice of, her being all about droids' rights and she's in a relationship with Lando kind of thing, then I want to see more breathing room of that. So when she does die, spoiler alert, you could feel more of the weight of Lando's loss for that. I mean, I think, and also, too, nobody was supporting her endeavor. No. Lando wasn't either. So if you're going to do that whole, hey, equal rights for droids, then you kind of, it seems a bit derogatory from a filmmaker standpoint because none of the characters supported it.
Yeah, that's true. It was kind of like a fly in the room that everyone ignored.
Yeah.
Completely. And also, we've never saw anything in the future with, droids have feelings too, and they're droids, they're machines.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of, again, going back to Han Solo.
Right.
Han Solo doesn't care anything about droids.
No.
I mean, the way he abuses C-3PO in the original trilogy is hilarious, but it's also borderline a bully. Right. Him bullying C-3PO, he doesn't do that to Chewie. He doesn't do that to Leia, but he did that to the droid. And you could have, again, to show more Han Solo, you could have seen Han Solo interact with droids that way to show a little bit more of the character. didn't.
Right.
And there was this opportunity with this droid being like, you can write for the droids, and Han Solo could have had an interaction like that. And you could have had Lando being like, no, actually, I support the droid.
Like, yeah, I was insulted that they put that in because I feel that they were trying to be conscious and contemporary and throwing something in there, but then they're robots, and we've never seen any kind of push and pull between, robots being...
This definitely wasn't a movie like Bicentennial Man, where it like has the whole effect of like,
iRobot.
Or iRobot, where
Right.
it's like, I'm a robot, but I have feelings. It's like,
Right.
there wasn't enough time to do that. So it felt like a look how progressive we are choice. And again,
Right.
telling, not showing. And it didn't work for me. And there's some people on the internet that really don't like that Lando all of a sudden became pansexual.
And I don't see how that works with droids now.
Yeah, and how
Inanimate object.
How does having affection for a droid make you pansexual?
Yeah.
I would get it if he was like getting it on with a lady alien that wasn't his species, because then that's more pansexual, right? I mean, you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're building robots for sex now in our lifetime, so I guess I was about to say can't have sex with that droid, but it's like, well,
she can.
You technically could,
right?
But yeah, it just didn't. It wasn't really working. There also really wasn't a bad guy in this movie.
No, he really was.
You
know what? Question.
Yeah.
Because we're close to running out of time. Can we do a part 2 to this?
Sure.
And then we'll kind of fish off to other rants and references to Star Wars, because there's a lot to talk about with this. So, really quick, what is your social? What is your Instagram?
It is at Bevin, BEVINY, the letter Y, not now.
And I'm Michael 7 Michael, the number 7 Michael, and of course Geekcaster, spelled the same way. You're watching Geekcaster. You go to geekcaster.com, and this is the solo review and rant, and we will have a part 2. So there you go.